Vashon Chamber. How are you guys doing? Get ready to get started. We've got a lot of participants getting on. Great, so I'm just going to pull the slides up. All right, looking good. About 9 participants in right now. Welcome to our webinar series. Just going to give it a few minutes, everybody, as we have people get on board this morning before we get started. I hope everybody is safe and well. All right. Great. We'll just give it a few more minutes, Katie, if that's okay with you before we get started. Okay. Well, aren't we? We are having the most spectacular weather. We're down here in Wax Orchard at our orchards at Nashi Orchards, and everything is blooming and turning beautiful white flowers across the entire pear orchard. So it's really exciting to be outside for spring. It kind of makes you forget what's going on in the rest of the world. So it's kind of nice to have that to look forward to. And it's already sunny, which means it's going to be probably a beautiful day. Okay, so with that, I think we want to go ahead and get started, Katie. Thank you so much for joining us for the third in our business resource series. Our first 2 chamber chats on COVID-19 have been on really finance resources, and today we're kind of turning a little bit towards how people can actually transform their business and maybe take their business online. So really appreciate you taking the time today to share what you know with people so that they can take their business to the next level, or at least in a different direction. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, and just let me know when you want me to switch the slides. Okay?
Great. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. I hope everybody is out there and safe. And it looks like it's going to be 64 degrees today. I just checked my weather before I got on here, so I hope everybody gets to get outside. We're going to talk about creating an online store and also getting the word out. So social media, digital marketing, focusing on the digital marketing and digital business space, with definitely focusing on e-commerce, which is important to have during this time, but also anytime during business, or during regular business, I should say. But this is especially important when people can't come into your business and during this unprecedented time for our country. So let's go into about me. My name is Katie Hermans, and I'm the founder of KMH Business Solutions and Be Present Media. I work with several companies here on the island, as well as some companies out of state. I grew up here. My parents are George and Carla Hill, and they are who inspired me to be an entrepreneur. I have 12 years of experience as a business consultant, specializing in marketing and sales. A lot of that is in the digital marketing space, but we do also print marketing and graphic design, web development. So if you are interested in any of that stuff, my contact information is at the bottom. I also wanted to let you know that I am donating some time to help companies get set up. So if, we're waiving our fees during this time to help you get moving and get this set up quickly during this unprecedented time. And a little bit about me. I have 3 beautiful little boys. They're there in that picture. Me and my husband, we were all Vashon Pirates, and now these guys are going to go through the school system as well. So yeah, we can switch to the next slide now. Great. Okay, so we'll start with just creating an online store. Now, a lot of people already have a website. If you don't have a website, that's probably your first step, is to establish a domain and get a basic website set up. A lot of these platforms we're going to talk to you about today can do both. They can set up your online store as well as your entire web presence. So some of these platforms are to start from scratch. If you already have a website created, there might be a plugin or an easy way just to get your online store started. And if that's the case, you can reach out to me and we can work on getting that started. So let's go on to the next slide. Actually, yeah, there we go. Okay, so here are the first steps involved in preparing to set up your online store. So the first one is really important, deciding exactly what products or services you'd like to sell online. So that means if you're going to be scheduling like online, even like a Zoom meeting, like some personal trainers are doing Zoom sessions, or counselors are doing Zoom sessions. That's something you can sell through or schedule online and collect fees online. You can sell, obviously art, anything physical, and figuring out what those items are, what those services are, and how you're going to fulfill them. Then after you know what that is, you'll choose what platform best fits your needs, and we'll go through some platforms here in a second. You go through the steps of actually physically creating the store, set up the shipping and delivery methods, connect the payment provider, your domain, and advertise the store. We'll go through more of that. However, if at the end of this call you want more of an in-depth look at how to do this, I do have a emailable PDF guide that'll take you step by step through a lot of these platforms and these steps that I have outlined here. You can email me there below and I can get that information to you. But today we're going to talk mostly about what platforms are best and how to get started on those platforms. You can go to the next slide there. Okay, some things to keep in mind. E-commerce websites are definitely not free, but a lot of them are very affordable. So keep that in mind while you're deciding what option is best for you and making a web presence. Almost all of the e-commerce platforms have an affordable monthly fee for utilizing their platform. Sometimes the features that you want, you add to the site or add to the store, and it comes with a monthly fee or an annual fee. So just keep that in mind. Have your budget in mind before you go into this. There are free options. There are ways to get around some of those fees, but that might, change which platform you use. As far as merchant processing fees go, you will also be connecting your website to a merchant processor, and they are generally not included in the fees of your website. So keep that in mind as well. When you sell something online, generally you're going to be using a credit card or a debit card to make that payment, and there are merchant processing fees involved. So that comes out of your profits. It also needs to be in your budget. There is options for offline payment on certain platforms, which we can talk about here in a little bit, you can get around those processing fees by collecting cash, check, Venmo, those other type of processing. And then also make sure that you have a plan to advertise and drive traffic to your online store via social media, search engine optimization, and other forms of digital marketing. We're talking a little bit about that in this webinar, but if you have any other questions about that, feel free to contact me. It's important to realize that just putting the store up, you definitely got to put in the leg work on the back end to get people there. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so we're going to go back through a little bit of those steps that I had said before about setting up your store. So it's very important to have this ahead of time. Like I said before, what you want to sell online. This is going to make a huge difference in which platform you decide on. There are, for restaurants, there's food pickup and delivery scheduling plugins. There's, like I said before, the booking and scheduling services for online counseling sessions, personal training, video chat, and obviously retail items. And in that, think of how you're going to fulfill. Is it mailing them? Is it pickup? That type of thing. All right, let's head to the next slide. Okay, so we know now what we want to sell. Now we are going to choose the platform that fits our needs. So these are just some of the ones that we're going to talk about today. Google Forms, Squarespace, Wix, Shopify, and WooCommerce. these are some of the ones that I use very frequently, and some of the ones that I use for island businesses. So I wanted to show you this because you can actually, for most of these, see live examples of island businesses using these platforms to broaden their digital market space. So let's head to the next slide. We're going to start with WordPress. All right, so WordPress, a lot of people use WordPress. It's a great platform. It can feel very daunting for a lot of small business owners. I actually have the majority of my clients come to me with a WordPress site that was created by someone who who isn't working for them anymore, and they have no idea what to do. So if you're in that boat, you can reach out to me. One of the easiest ways to set up a store on WordPress is through WooCommerce, which is a plugin that you can get through your WordPress dashboard. So WooCommerce is super easy and works very similar to the other platforms we're going to talk about. It's, like I said, it's kind of daunting for people who don't have a lot of technical background, but it is possible, and I can help walk people through that. You basically install the plugin and then follow the prompts to set everything up, but it can be a little tricky. So WordPress is a great platform, and reach out to me if you guys have questions about that. We're going to go into a little deeper into the other ones. So let's head into the next slide. Google Forms. So I wanted to start with Google Forms as an option for somebody who has nothing set up online, because it's generally free through your Gmail account. A lot of people have Gmail, or your G Suite account, and you can set up a form. There's a little group of buttons up on the right hand, or the right hand side of your screen, and you can actually find Google Forms in that list. You can set up basic order forms, feedback forms, all sorts of different ways to get in touch with your clients, and it is free. So Island Home Center in Lumber is using this right now. They wanted a quick way to get delivery and curbside pickup set up. We got it set up in like less than 48 hours. And basically what happens is people go onto the Google form, submit their information, and then a Island Lumber representative contacts them and takes their order over the phone. So they didn't want to, obviously Island Lumber has a ton of inventory and products. They didn't want to list everything out. They didn't know what people wanted to order. So this was the best solution for them. So again, Google Forms is a simple order form, a way to get in touch. You could put, if you have 5 items that you want to sell, or if you are a restaurant, this could also work. If you have a very specific list of items, it would work great for that. All right, let's head to the next one here. Okay, so Wix is my personal favorite. I have the most experience with Wix. I feel like there is a lot of opportunities, a lot of options. Almost all of these platforms do have limitations because you're working within a template. The idea is for it to be easy for the business owner, easy for someone to set up. So my business is all around making affordable solutions for small business owners and making something that they can actually manage on their own. A lot of websites, you have to hire someone out to make edits. They can cost a lot of money. And so my format is, you guys can handle it if you want to, or you can pay me, but this is an affordable option for you to be able to manage. So Wix is great for a lot of business types: retail stores, artists, restaurants, online services. All of that is an easy pickup or easy plugin, excuse me, into your existing website on Wix to set those things up. The cost for a basic site is free, and once you start collecting payments, there's a range depending on how many features you want, but it starts at $28 per month. Again, not including merchant processing fees. It's a really amazing how flexible Wix can be, so it's one of my favorites. Let's head to the next slide so you can see some live examples, which Urban Bloom is one of my clients, and they are offering their online store through Wix. They did this, we set it up long before the COVID-19 crisis, but now we are offering virtual bouquets and gift cards. So this is how they are shifting during this time, and still keeping business coming in, and it is working. But on the back end of it, we have had to educate our clients on how to come to the store and what we're doing during this time. Pollard Coffee, they also just launched their Wix store right before this COVID-19 crisis, and they are continuing to do sales as well. They're also set up through Wix and offering, I believe, free shipping and adjusting to this crazy time through their online store. Okay, we can head to the next one. So Squarespace, which I just heard is Cheryl's favorite. Squarespace is great. It's very similar to Wix. In my opinion, it's slightly less editable, so limited to the customizations you can do, but same idea, drag and drop website builder, plugins that you can plug in. The basic site is free. You have a free trial for the basic site, and then once you do go live and an e-commerce site, it's about $12 to $40 a month. And Vashon Adventures uses this, uses Squarespace, so they're an example. However, they do it, their sign up is through a different, for their adventures is through a different website. So definitely look at it if you're interested in looking at Squarespace and a live example of that. Let's head into Shopify. All right, so Shopify is really easy to set up. I really enjoy Shopify as well. I do not have an online, an on-island example of Shopify, but this is another one of my clients, the EOS web portal, that link there. So all these links are in the PDF, printable, and emailable guide that I can send to you after this call. But Shopify is great because you get an e-commerce store, inventory tracking, and fulfillment all in one. A lot of these other stores like WooCommerce, for example, you have to add things in to make it do all of these things, and Shopify does it all in one. There are still plugins that you can add if you want additional features, but if you wanted something really quick, really basic, so it's not the prettiest thing, but it can handle a significant amount of inventory, and it tracks things and links effortlessly to USPS. So you can print right from your computer a label for USPS and just drop it in the mail and you're good to go. So let's head to the next one there. Okay, so now we've talked about platforms. I'm sorry if I'm going a little quickly through that. I want to make sure that I'm not focusing on anything that people aren't interested in. And so you can ask me more questions later, or I can email you out that printable guide. A lot of people, I'm thinking, have a website set up, and then it's just a matter of plugging in that store and getting the word out. So we're going to talk a little bit about social media basics and some ideas on how to get word out about your online store and the different approaches you're taking through the COVID-19 crisis. All right, so let's go to the next one here. The first thing is you definitely want to focus your efforts. Social media has so many options right now. We've got TikTok is becoming big right now, and Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of these amazing platforms, but they can feel very overwhelming. And a lot of my clients either don't have the time, or it just blows them away how much options there are, and it's overwhelming. So what we try to do is focus our efforts. And so I definitely suggest Facebook and Instagram as a place to start. Obviously, the most people on the planet are on Facebook and Instagram. Vashon is very active on Facebook. Instagram is on the rise, though. Don't ignore Instagram. And the beauty of Facebook and Instagram is that they actually link together. A lot of you probably already realize this, but you can link your Instagram account to your Facebook account, so you can actually cross post onto both of those channels without much effort. And so don't try to post everywhere. It's much better if you focus your efforts. And like I said, focus on Facebook and Instagram. Let's head to the next one there. consistency is key. So a lot of people think, okay, well, that means I gotta post every single day. That does not mean that. You can post 2 to 3 times a week and keep quality content and get a better response than if you posted every single day. So there's island businesses who are doing an exceptional job of this. But you, like Ruby Brink, for example, they post every single day, but they definitely have a plan. So this over here is a picture of Sprout Social. It is a platform that you can use to schedule your posts, and it also provides reporting. It's a great program. I use it for a lot of the reports for my clients. It keeps all the data in one place. So if you need some help scheduling out your social media calendar, Sprout is helpful. Otherwise, you can just do it in a document or a spreadsheet. I definitely recommend trying to plan out in advance. Excuse me, my printer's printing. Okay, because if you plan out in advance, then you're not feeling so pressured to get all of your social media content created and scheduled. And a good place to be is right around 3 to 4 posts per week. All right, we can head to the next one there. Okay, so something my clients that can be very confusing for my clients and other people is the difference between hashtags versus tags. So hashtags obviously have the hashtag symbol and tags have the @ symbol. But a hashtag is a label for your content topic. So if you're talking about, let's say, island adventures, for example, if we're talking about kayaking, we're going to use kayaking, Vashon Island, even Vashon Adventures as a hashtag. So if anybody wants to learn more about kayaking or Vashon Adventures or Vashon Island, they would click on those hashtags. And those hashtags will take them to all sorts of content about Vashon Island or whatever they clicked on. And so you want to make sure that those are a wide range of topics surrounding what you're posting about, so that you can get people from, if they're interested in life preservers, they would still potentially look at your post. And these are hashtags. Some people don't realize you can actually put a hashtag into Google and it'll pull up all the information or all the posts that have been that have that hashtag. So they're very important, and they are especially on Instagram and social media channels, 10 to 30 tags per post. Try to do about 10, but if you can get up to 30, that's where you're really getting into the maximum exposure without paying. That's the thing. You don't have to pay for the exposure you get by using hashtags. The tags use the @ symbol. And as you may be familiar on Instagram and Facebook, when someone tags you in a photo, they have to use that @ symbol and then your name will pop up. This links that photo or that post to another person or another business, and it also shows on their profile as well in their tagged feed. So tags are very important if you are in a business. For example, my other client is Urban Feast, and we are always tagging all of the vendors that were a part of that event. Not only are we cross-promoting with our preferred vendors, but we're also getting exposure through their followers as well. So if someone was looking at a lighting company that we used at an event, they would also get linked to our account as well. So tags and hashtags are extremely important. So let's head to more social media tips and ideas. This is just a snapshot, and there's a lot more, but I wanted to make sure these key points get focused on. We're going to start with utilizing stories. So stories are on the rise, and people are posting more to stories than they are to their feeds, which is good news for you, because putting a post together takes much more time than putting a story together. A lot of the times a story is behind the scenes footage, something really natural and casual, as well as a sneak behind, or a glimpse into your life, I guess is what I want to say, or a glimpse into what it is to be in your business, to operate your business on a daily basis. That's what social media is all about, is being authentic and being real. If you use a lot of stock footage, or if you use videos that are obviously not from your business, you're going to get less engagement. And so it's really important to be authentic and true to your brand and your business on your social media accounts. But in case you don't know, at the top of your screen, so if you're looking at that phone there, it would be right at the top, little bubbles at the top is where the stories would be. And that's where they stay and for about 24 hours. And you can click on them. They're right at the top of your followers' feeds. So if they follow you, you will pop up when you post a story. That means they don't have to go to your account to see it, and they don't have to scroll through their feed to see it. So it's definitely beneficial to utilize stories. Don't focus all your efforts just on posts. Okay, let's head to the next one here. So this is an idea I had for local businesses that could be, especially retail, hosting an online sales event. So this has been huge, especially through MLM companies. They've been doing this for a long time, but now during the COVID-19 crisis, I think everybody should be utilizing this. People are very active on social media right now. They're it's a captured audience, to say the least. And people who weren't previously active on social media are becoming active on social media now. So LuLaRoe is a company that sells leggings and shirts and all sorts of clothes, and they host their sales representatives host these online sales events. And basically what you do is you set up an event through Facebook, you share it to all of your friends on Facebook, and then during that event, so you make it during a very specific time, and you do a promotion, you post videos and pictures. You can even do a live video of you showing what your product is or what the clothes are, and they can place orders right there. A lot of times I've seen people place orders in the comments of the event, or you can tell them to go to your store, your online store, and place the order. It's a great way to get a spike in revenue, to create kind of a social event, even though it's digital, and it's, I think, something that businesses aren't utilizing enough during this time. Okay, and then let's head to the next slide here. Okay, so social media paid ads, hopefully you get a lot of engagement, a lot of followers just through your content that you're posting. If you're doing consistent posting, if you're using your hashtags and tags, you'll get organic followers, organic engagement, which is incredible. However, paid social media ads really do make a difference, and they don't cost much money at all. You could throw, like if you had a promotion or you were hosting an online sales event, $5 on Facebook goes a long way. And the great thing about it is you can choose what you want who you want it to reach through targeted demographics, which means you can make sure it's only going to Vashon or right around Vashon. And you can make sure I want them to be interested in dog food and, exactly what you want them to be interested in. Ads help increase impressions, which leads to likes, followers, traffic to your website. So obviously the goal is a return on your investment for your marketing spend, and social media ads definitely do it. They bring more people to your page, and eventually the goal obviously is to make sure they get to your website. So calls of action in those ads are really important. All right. And one more slide here. Okay, so, back one if possible. Okay, so email marketing is really important. MailChimp, Constant Contact, those are really, really great platforms. If you have any questions about those, you can always contact me about them. A lot of people use MailChimp, it's free. Also, updating your Google listing. That is through also your Gmail account. Make sure you add pictures, update your hours, and Google posts are great for promoting your online store as well as just your business in general. This is stuff you should do even after the COVID-19 crisis. And then SEO, a little bit more technical, which is something that I can definitely help you with if you're interested. It increases where you are in the list on Google. So that means adding keywords, so when people are searching, that they come to your site and you get higher up on that list. And that is about wraps it up. So
with that, Katie, what would be really great is if people have questions to go ahead and put those questions into the Q&A, and Katie can go ahead and answer those. Katie, I actually have a question for you. You mentioned Google as a way to get out there. What is your perspective on using things like Yelp and also things like TripAdvisor as ways to get the word out?
Yes, Yelp and TripAdvisor are great. That just really depends on what your business is. So, and people have to be driven to Yelp and to TripAdvisor for it to be effective. So if you have a Yelp account but no reviews on Yelp, it doesn't really help you out very much. So the great part about Yelp is when we're open is that a lot of times it's like, hey, leave a Yelp review. You're talking to your customers, or, oh, thank you so much for coming to our Airbnb. Please go to TripAdvisor, or, when you're talking to the customer. It's difficult in this time when we're not face to face with the customer, but definitely Yelp and TripAdvisor are very beneficial.
Great. So if anybody has any questions, would love to have you type those in and let us know what they are. I know from my perspective, having built our Squarespace site, that it does take a little bit of learning, but one of the things that I've found, because I've worked in WordPress and Wix and also in Squarespace, the different platforms do have different sort of looks and feels, and I would love if you just talk a little bit about how you can select those different platforms to sort of match what you want your brand to be. Because some brands are more modern and clean, others have more detail that have to be provided, and certainly there's the issue of online stores. So I would love if you could provide your perspective about sort of how to choose which one.
Of course. So yes, definitely stay true to your brand as much as possible. And so that could mean actually, let me back up here for a second. The great part about a lot of these platforms is that you can go and look at their templates for free. So for Squarespace and Wix, for example, you can go to their websites, and those links are in that PDF document that I can email out to you. But you can go and you can look at all their templates and see, okay, what do I like? What do I like better? What best fits my brand? Wix is definitely more casual, broader. And then Squarespace is very clean and modern. And I love that about Squarespace. They're very clean, very modern, very crisp. And so definitely kind of weigh your options there. WordPress, there's a lot of options as well, but it's more difficult to customize to exactly what you want. You get kind of a shell, and then you have to, a lot of times there's a lot of tech work that has to go into the back end to make it look exactly how you want it. That's a lot of times why my clients feel overwhelmed by WordPress. Not that it's a bad platform, it's a great platform, but sometimes it's a little overwhelming. And then there's Shopify, for example. It is definitely very basic. You're not going to be able to add a lot of fluff to it. It still is very effective, though. I will say that about Shopify.
So here's a question that came in. I'm wondering if Katie knows how to find quality products through a program like Shopify. I tried looking at that a while ago, and it was hard to find any locally made products of high quality.
And I think that she's referring to drop shipping, and which is where you connect a company that would then fulfill the products for you, and you offer the products on your store. It's a tricky thing. You have to kind of.
That was it, Katie. That's what they were talking about. Okay. Yes, drop shipping.
You have to weed through kind of the scams. Unfortunately, drop shipping, a lot of that comes directly from China. So I highly recommend trying to find somebody based in the United States. If you want to reach out to me personally, I did actually have a drop shipping account or website that I created, and I used a company that was based in LA, and they had you need to look at reviews. So a lot of these plugins, if you sort through the reviews, if they don't make any sense, you know, if they're all 5 stars, but they're all made on the same day, it's probably not a good plugin to add to your site. So be wary of drop shipping. There's a lot of scams out there, but just there are viable options.
Okay, great. So that's it. If anybody has any more questions, I think we probably are good to wrap at this point. But if anybody has any questions, they can put them in the Q&A or into the chat. So right now, I think we'll wrap up for this morning. Thank you so very much. We really appreciate your expertise, and if it's okay, we would love to put your PDF up on the Chamber website so that people can go back and reference that. Also, just want to remind everybody, we will be doing we will be putting the recording of today's webinar on the chamber.com, vashonchamber.com website, so you can reference it later of some of the stuff you want to check back in on. Our next couple things that are coming up in our business resource series are navigating tax stimulus and unemployment benefits for employees and the self-employed. Deborah Diamond's going to do that next Tuesday. We had a ton of questions and a lot of feedback from the business community that they really wanted to understand what to do if they were self-employed or sole proprietors. And there's actually some really interesting news coming out about how people can apply for unemployment if they are self-employed or sole proprietors. So Deborah's going to address that and really help people understand the new FEMLA rules as well. And then on Thursday, the 16th, we are going to have a tenant and landlord open forum. So if people are tenants and or landlords and want to just come and talk about the issues they're facing and how to navigate that, we're working with Sam Williams of the EOC to be able to sort of just facilitate an open forum, because people also said that that was something that was very interesting and important. We also, of course, want to remind everybody on vashonchamber.com that we do have a comprehensive list of vetted COVID-19 business resources, as well as a virtual assistant essential Vashon business guide, and of course, a good restaurant resource in addition to our typical chamber information. And then the new things we're adding to the chamber website for folks are an Ask the Experts office hours. We are going to have a CFO who is donating their time to help people get through SBA loan applications and understand things that need to be done there. And they're going to be providing office hours on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday evenings. And we'll have the sign up for those office hours on the chamber website. And also Deborah Diamond has also volunteered to answer specific employment issues and provide support. And that will be up by the end of the day and ready for tomorrow morning on the vashonchamber.com site. And then something else that we're doing from a chamber, a recent survey said people would like to just connect and network and try to help each other. So we are going to be doing virtual networking coffees every Friday morning for the next couple of months. Great place to learn about other businesses, but also find out what's going on in the community. And we're going to be doing those every Friday with the Zoom link. Will be sent out via Constant Contact, but also it'll be up on the chamber website, and those will be at 8 a.m. every Friday. So we hope people can join. And with that, I just want to say again, thank you so much, Katie. Really great ideas. Sometimes the online stuff and the marketing stuff can be daunting, and I think you made it seem pretty easy to navigate. So thank you very much for your time, and everybody, thank you for joining us this morning. I really appreciate it. Talk to you later. Have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, super clear.